For decades, almost in every single sales training, we have been hearing phrases like, what would you say to the chairman of the company you work for or your boss if you came across them in an elevator and you have like a couple of seconds to convince them or to pitch them an idea? Depending on the training, sometimes this elevator ride is 10 seconds, sometimes it's 7 seconds. The first thing that crosses my mind with this type of a question is the idea that this person who is probably already quite busy in her daily life should at least be able to enjoy a short elevator ride in silence and peace. I personally don't like the idea of force-feeding them an idea or a pitch just because they happened to step into the same elevator with us. However, for the sake of argument, let's say you absolutely have to present to them, you have to absolutely pitch to them your ideas. In similar fashion, you may have received a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to present to your manager, the board of directors, or a very important prospective client, and you will have a very short amount of time to do that. Let's say you will appear in front of your manager or prospective big client. Certainly, there are people that you want to impress because their actions after the presentation may affect your career path or sales numbers. So you want to ace the presentation. And based on your previous correspondence that you had with them, with the company or their assistant, you learn that this meeting would last about an hour. You have prepared yourself and your presentation according to this 1 hour duration. However, minutes before you start the full presentation, you are informed that due to an unexpected change on the agenda, the relevant person doesn't have the full hour anymore. And to make things worse, the next available date is 2 years from now. So could you make the presentation not in 1 hour, but in 5 minutes instead and get to the summary? Well, what do you do about it? There are two options. You can talk about the same topics you would in 1 hour, but now in 5 minutes, therefore deliver the same presentation 12 times faster. Or the second option, you say, no problem, you immediately get your laptop, put on a slide ninja hat and start slashing unnecessary slides right on the spot before the meeting. You just need to decide which 10 slides you will keep from the 100 plus slide presentation. No big deal, right? Remember, by the way, your 5-minute period may have already begun. As someone who has tried both methods persistently in the past and has gone through his fair share of embarrassment, I can say with absolute precision and certainty that neither method works and both of them will result in a communication catastrophe. However, before even facing such a situation, there are two golden words to keep in mind and maintain a high level of potential success, even if things go unexpectedly. And those two words are advanced preparation. When you're prepared in advance, you can adapt very quickly to any situational changes you come across and successfully deliver your presentation without being affected by the negative consequences. And in this video, I would like to share with you a few tested, proven tips on how to do this, especially with last-minute changes. The first step is go over your presentation sometime before the meeting, not a couple of hours, but maybe a couple of days, maybe a week before the meeting. Keep in mind the time given to you, the 1 hour, and determine which points are the most important ones. In step 2, ask yourself, even if my speaking time is reduced to a half of what it was or 1/4 of what it was, what are the things that I absolutely have to talk about? What are the indispensable pieces of content that I must convey to my audience? And with this information in mind, slash the rest of the presentation and save this version of the presentation on a second file. And the third point is that now you will have two presentation files, the regular one and a shorter one. But before you go to the meeting, go over this new version a couple of times and confirm your newly edited cross-topic transitions because you just made new ones. Make sure that they are harmonious and meaningful and they are not cut short or abruptly between two ideas. So make sure that the ideas are flowing coherently, including the new presentation, the shorter presentation file. So now you're prepared in advance when faced with any last-minute changes in terms of time. You don't need to talk in a hurry or quickly skip some slides towards the end of the presentation and use phrases like, actually, these slides aren't very important, because then people might be asking, if they are not already very important, why were they included in the presentation in the first place? Now, I like reading about how our audience starts evaluating our performance even before we open our mouth to say the first words. And when you are able to manage a significant change that you encounter at the last minute elegantly and gracefully, thanks to your preparation in advance, your audience will surely have a positive impression on you and the presentation that you're making, and it will be a success.